come once again to discuss things.
The voice of a character.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sid Part 2. Joining me today is Deadpoolzilla and Rasco's Modern Life. Hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
Pretty good. I had my last day of working at Goodwill today, and this episode will be posted on the last day that I work at the station. It's an exciting time in the life of Sid Part 2.
Ooh.
Yep.
And I'm here sitting watching Jason Takes Manhattan.
Well,
Which is
hopefully
awesome.
you don't watch the movie while we're recording the episode, you know? That would be ideal.
No, continue to watch it.
Let's just all watch our own movie while we talk throughout the episode, because that won't be distracting at all.
It'll be a triple movie commentary.
Without any commentary on the movies we're watching.
Yeah.
In any case, this week we're talking about the 1990 film Tremors, but before we get into that, I just want you, the listener, to know that you can now download episodes of Geeky Gentlemen. The link is in the description. Download it so you can listen on the go. New episodes are posted with the episodes on YouTube, actually slightly before, just because it goes up faster on there. And you can listen to old episodes on the go by just leaving comments on old episodes, and I'll upload them on your behalf and let you know when it's up. You can find old episodes of Geeky Gentlemen by checking out the Geeky Gentlemen playlist, which has over 300 episodes for your listening pleasure. Anyway, so Rasco, why'd you pick Tremors?
Oh, I picked this movie?
Yes, you did.
I picked this movie because this is a great movie. I mean, there's nothing else to say about it. I mean, well, for one, it's absolute schlock, which I love. I love movies. Like, everyone kind of has, like, their schlock that they like. Like, a lot of people like kaiju films, stuff like that. You know, I like those too. But a lot of people like schlocky alien-type stuff, and that's me. I like schlocky alien-type stuff. So...
Now, when you say alien-type stuff...
What?
Do you mean stuff with aliens, or stuff that's a ripoff of Alien?
Stuff with kind of creepy alien monsters and crap like that. I really like that. That's like my favorite kind of like schlocky type thing. But when done well and treated like an actual movie, I love it when you do that with horrible schlock. And that's literally, if you watch like special features for the movie Alien, that's what they say. They treated a horrible schlock film as if it was an art house piece, and that's what Alien is. I like that with a lot of things, and that's very much this movie. It's not art house. This movie's not art house. Like
Yeah,
Alien.
this is not art house.
It's like action. This is like a legitimate action thriller type movie with a horrible schlock premise that I love.
This is very much like the 90s equivalent to Evil Dead, pretty much, like that horror comedy schlock fest.
Yeah.
See, like, I heard this described as a horror comedy, and I don't know if I could really say that. It seems like we had a script for a, kind of B horror movie that actually has some kind of clever, if a little simplified, science fiction going on in it. Because I don't think that any of the comedy, or much of the comedy, really comes from the script. There's only, like, I really tried to think about it, and there are some funny moments. There are plenty of funny moments in the movie. But I only think of two things that constitute a running joke that are in the script. One of them is the rock, paper, scissors, and then the other is the,
Pardon my French.
Pardon my French. Yeah. Everything else about this, I feel like this was written to be kind of a, to some degree, serious horror film, and then the director and the cast kind of took it in a more lighthearted direction.
Yeah, and I think it's because of the actors. I think Kevin Bacon, in particular, just like works better doing a lighter type of character in a more fun movie. He plays that lead better than a really troubled kind of horrified type character who's leading a group of like horrified people. The people are horrified, but what I like about it is it has that redneck, we can handle anything. Like, I'm from the South. That's very much a like, we can handle anything on our own down here. And instead of being like horrified, rednecks would be like, we'll take these damn worm things out. Like, I like that attitude.
But this is in Nevada. That's not really what I'd call South.
It's not. It's I could write a paper on the different types of rednecks, but that is a culture that is derivative of redneck culture. Okay, I can get into it, but
you could write a whole thesis on the redneck subspecies.
Yeah, there's like, there's rednecks, but then there's also like the Texans, which is an offset, kind of throwing a little bit of the Western culture in there.
Well, actually, that's very much.
Just kind of what this movie is.
Very much the case,
like
because it was people from the South that originally migrated to Texas.
There's a whole...
And then stole the country.
Yeah.
History Month is next month, people. We'll get there.
I really love this movie. The effects were done by Rick Baker, right?
The effects look fucking fantastic, is all
Yeah, like I love how these puppets are just are just gigantic, and I love it when you have actual, like, I've always preferred actual practical effects to CGI sometimes. Don't get me wrong, CGI has its place a lot of times, but
I think the blend, I don't want to get too much into it, but I think the blend is always the best answer.
Yeah, the blend is always good, but I think and it really shows that when you have something there, the actors give a little more, they give more to their performance when they have something to look at instead of like, here's a tennis ball, look scared.
Yeah, it's a really hard thing to act against, like, nothing. I hate to do this, but so in Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds couldn't do just acting against pure blue screen for the scenes that he's with like Kilowog and Tomar Ray, so they had actual physical actors there on set, just doing the scenes with him, so he had someone to act off. And so yeah, I think there are solutions other than we'll put a tennis ball in, or we'll just do it all in CG or whatever. But regardless of all that, you know how many digital effects are in this movie? Fuck all. So it's not really much of a point to talk about digital effects.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. The other thing is what I like about this is that especially we get so many great characters, especially motherfucking Burt Gummer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, the characters are a lot of fun. It does have just that. Like, I did love Burt just because he's like, yes, I've been waiting all my life for the chance to use all this crazy, paranoid, end-of-the-world crap that I've stockpiled.
Yeah.
And here it is.
Yeah. And then throughout the rest of the films and the original sci-fi series, he becomes the main character.
Oh, interesting. See, I didn't know that. And so I'm curious about something, since I'd like, this is a franchise I'd never, known about. I'd vaguely remember hearing the name Tremors, but I never knew anything about it. So this was actually a really fresh movie for me. Do the sequels keep the tone of this, or do they go for more of a, quote unquote serious horror?
No, they pretty much stay the same.
Oh, that's good. That's refreshing.
Yeah, they're
so many horror movies as they go on completely lose the tone of what made the original work.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There are some this has the most scary moments. The rest are just kind of they're horror comedy. They're more action comedies than they are horror comedies, really.
Yeah, and like I said, I think what works about the comedy in this is it's not written as comedy.
Yeah.
I think that really, really helps. I'd be willing to bet you that most of the lines where we laugh are just entirely the actors' interpretations of it.
You! Or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like Rasco said, it's clear Kevin Bacon's having fun here.
Yeah. That's my favorite part of the movie. When he turns around when the thing just busts through that concrete. And he screams at it. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And honestly, the design of the monsters is really cool, and the idea behind them, because you can't, unless you can fly, you're fucked.
Yeah, and I just want to say one more thing about the actors before we move on. One of the things I think really works about this is one of my biggest complaints in horror movies, as Rasco well knows, is I want to like the people even if they're going to die. I think the mark of a bad horror movie is when I'm looking at my cell phone for the time to see how long until these people that I am tired of and hate just fucking die. That is the mark of a really bad horror movie, when I'm getting so bored with your damn movie or so annoyed with your damn characters that I'm just waiting for everyone to die. And you know what? The characters in this movie are not original, fresh takes. They're not, groundbreaking. They are either not fleshed out at all or complete walking cliches. And I just don't care, because the actors play them, the director presents it, they're written just enough so that you have a good time with them, and you're not just annoyed with them and waiting for them to fucking die.
Well, except one guy, but we'll get to him.
Who? The teenager?
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out that when you said, unless you can fly, you're fucked, that's the perfect tagline for this movie. Unless you can fly,
that would have been great for the
fucked.
poster.
Unless you can fly, you're fucked.
Hashtag, unless you can fly, you're fucked. 26 years late for the hashtag, but still.
But no, like I said, it's just a great concept because, it literally hears you when you take a step. You can't outrun this thing because it digs faster than you can run.
I think they lost a little bit of that as the thing went on, or as the movie went on, rather. Because, when they just randomly pull out that, if you just stop, then you're fine, that doesn't seem to work.
I know, but still. And also, is it just me, and maybe Rasco can confirm this, when they're doing the camera angles of, when they're chasing, they have the camera angle of the Tremor, or the Graboid, chasing after the actors, is that supposed to be a reference to Evil Dead 2, with the camera angle chasing Ash?
I don't know, but it's like the same thing, pretty much. I mean, it's like the same kind of camera movement, but...
I don't know, it just felt like a reference.
It's cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I do not have the answer for you. It's well shot, too. There's some really iconic things. And you know what I thought about while I was watching this movie? Is they don't, at least in the first movie, I'm not sure if they ever do in any of the sequels, so maybe you guys can tell me if this spoils my idea. But, you could totally make a Western horror movie with these things.
They did.
Yeah. Oh, really? Like Old West style Tremors movie?
Yeah, it sucked.
Oh, that's terrible. It could have been awesome. That premise works perfectly.
Yeah,
Tremors meets Magnificent Seven.
Well, not Magnificent Seven.
It sounds like a cool idea. It's supposed to focus on Burt Gummer's, ancestor, the guy who founded Perfection, Nevada.
Oh my god.
Well, that doesn't make any sense, because he says he moved there, but whatever.
Yeah, I didn't write the fucking movie.
That's ridiculous.
But yeah, and it's really stupid because this guy hates guns, and he gets the actor who plays the mercenary he hires is the villain from from Charmed, excuse me.
You know what the Gilmore Girls?
No, he was in Charmed.
The villain from Gilmore Girls, yes.
No, I get the two blend. I don't care. They blend in my head. I'm sorry.
I never watched either, so it's fine. No, it's that's disappointing that it sucks, because that seems like such a brilliant thing to do with this, because it just... I like to see things cross over with Westerns. As much as it's just like a blah movie, I do like Cowboys and Aliens.
It's alright. You should check out a movie called The Burrowers. It's
okay.
It's kind of the same concept of, it's like Tremors 4, but better.
Okay. No, that's crazy that they did that. I guess I'm not too surprised, because it all does seem like it's there. This is shot at times like a bit of a Western, particularly when they're on the horseback. That actually does get me to, like, just... I like some of the science fiction in this movie, and I think it's actually reasonably clever. It's more clever in what they decide not to explain.
They explain it in the second movie.
Well, then that's a problem. But it's more clever in what they decide to leave out, right? But one of the things that kind of bothered me is initially you don't see anyone... Like, when they're initially setting up the monster, it only goes after people who are digging in the ground and disturbing the earth.
Yeah.
And then it just randomly... It waits till they're on horseback riding to town before it goes after someone else.
Yeah.
And it goes after the horses. So it changes the rules right as it starts to escalate.
Yeah.
And I thought that was weird.
Yeah, but I guess you needed the body count at that point. But what I did like is there are some serious, like, disturbing moments. Like, the one scene that really works for me, and it really feels like a horror film, is when that doctor and his wife are killed, and it's terrible. Because that scene just grabs you and hooks you in of this poor woman in her car while she's being buried alive in it to be devoured.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah. I don't know how the lights of the car and everything turned on if she didn't have the keys, though. Like, I can go turn the lights of my car on, but they damn sure ain't gonna stay on until morning. If it was just running off battery. I thought that was weird. Maybe that's just me, though.
Yeah.
Just on drugs.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to ruin anything, but yeah, I like that scene too. That was pretty cool. And again, you can tell that couple's white because she's trying to get in the car and he's like, no, we need to investigate.
I don't know about you guys, but when I hear a weird sound, I get my ass in the car and haul and just gun it, you know?
No. See, you say that, but it's not true because you're white.
No. When I hear weird sounds, I don't go investigate. I go, fuck that. That is how I've managed to survive, Ian. I listen to my fight or flight instincts.
My friend Andrew and I would always do that watching horror movies. Is like, you know, the white guy would be like, okay, let's investigate. And we'd just be like, nope, see? That's how you know he's white. Okay, I don't know. Why don't you take us somewhere? I'm just enjoying the conversation. I don't know where to really direct this one at.
I guess we could talk about, like, the monsters themselves.
Sure. Okay, so in the sequels, you say they explain the science a bit more. Was that a mistake?
Yeah, because they give off all these cool theories, and it's kind of cool that you don't know. But then, do you want to know what they really are?
Go for it.
They're prehistoric worms from the Precambrian era.
See, that's what I figured is the idea that they like somehow did kind of like a brood thing. I figured it would be just purely a natural animal that did some kind of brood thing, but that, of course, it doesn't solve the problem that the actress says, or that the one character says in the movie, they can't possibly predate the fossil record.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I don't know, I guess they just never died.
Yeah. Yeah. Rasco,
I don't know, like, I like that it's kind of, I like it, it's scientific horror, and I just generally tend to be more of a mystic horror fan. It's scientific horror, but you don't have enough time to really get a great idea without losing people along the way, right? That's what I really like about it. Is it's got a science fiction edge to it, but there's not enough time to come to a fully realized scientific explanation. So there's still a lot of think on your feet improvisation, and you're figuring out the rules as you go. So it works more like that whole mystical horror element. And just for the record, the reason I prefer mystical horror is because you can do a there's no way to understand this situation, you're fucked kind of Lovecraftian approach.
Yeah, it is, and it's also very nice to have not having a doctor explanation around it to kind of be like, science, science, science. This is science.
Yeah. I agree. I like when
I
that
happen
kind
to
of
study
thing
these
just,
worms.
I like that this movie kind of plays around with, the perception of the scientist because of horror movies and sci-fi movies, where they just keep asking her all these questions, and she's like, I don't know, I'm a fucking geologist.
Yeah.
This isn't my field.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Oh. Never mind.
No, go for it.
Never mind. I just randomly thought of a horror movie that I watched recently that was cool, but never mind. Let's just continue on.
The one thing that that really just bothers me about the whole they're prehistoric worms is that doesn't explain the fucking tongues, because biologically that's impossible.
What, that they're worms?
No, the tongues and the worms.
Oh, because they have their own heads and stuff?
Yeah, like if you said if you gave me the explanation that they're like parasites and it's a symbiotic relationship or something like that, then I would have accepted it.
Well,
maybe.
Elephants can grab things with their penis.
Well, elephants don't have heads and mouths, Rasco.
On their penises, they might. Who knows? You ever seen an elephant? Penis?
No, they just have a head and no mouth.
Deadpoolzilla, you don't get to win this argument till you fly to Africa and, personally inspect an elephant cock.
Yeah. Elephant cocks have head. Everyone knows that.
You ever think, elephants, jack each other off of their trunks?
Well, they can do that with their penises. I'm serious. If you research elephant penises right now on the internet, guys.
Why have you even researched that, Rasco?
I was watching a thing one time. It was an not safe for work fact that popped up on this thing, and I was like, oh, okay. I read about this elephant fact, and it was.
Were you just reading a furry comic or what?
No, it was. It's hard to explain. I just know this.
I think we found the clip for this week.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna call it elephant cocks.
I have more information. You can't jerk off an elephant if you need to split its semen for breeding. If you work at an elephant breeding place or some shit, I don't know. You can't jerk it off alone.
I spent a summer at an elephant breeding place.
You also have to fist its ass with your arm.
Oh, okay.
That's how you can get an elephant to come. So just throwing that's another elephant factoid.
How are we talking about?
You can find that video if you look up anally fisting elephant for semen collection on YouTube. You can find a video that.
Why did you even look for that?
But yes, there is your clip for this week, Ian. Go ahead.
What?
#what Rasco jerks off to.
When he's not looking at horror movies, he is just yanking it to that.
No.
Babar.
If you ever wanted to know what Rasco jerks off to, there you go. Okay. Well, Rasco, do you have anything else you'd like to talk about besides elephant cocks?
Hey, I was just fulfilling the topic. We were talking about elephant cocks for a minute, and I had to...
No, we were not talking about elephant cocks. I want to firmly establish...
Yes, we were.
You were the only one who brought out elephant cocks.
Yes, the subject naturally graduated to elephant cocks.
Anyway, like I was saying, there's just the tongues are the things that just really throw me off about the prehistoric thing, because no, unless they're like a parasite or something like that, then no, that's no animal. That's no animal on Earth that can do that.
What, have the second mouth on the tongue or something?
No, the multiple tongues. And they're born with it. It's not like, oh, they get this. No, they're born with it.
Well, how do you know that animals can't have that, huh?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything that...
You an evolutionary biologist?
You're saying that it's biologically impossible. I'm just trying to think of anything that might contradict it. And obviously there's no animal with, multiple tongues with independent heads. Yeah.
Also, another thing that really didn't. It really just makes the whole thing confusing for the whole. Oh, they're Precambrian animals. Is because in the other sequels they explain the life cycle of the graboids.
Oh yeah, how's the life cycle work?
Life cycle goes. Graboids are actually like larvae, and they explode basically into these things called heat seekers or something like that. They're these little two-legged animals that can have predator vision, basically thermal vision.
What are they called?
I can't remember what they're called. Like they can heat seek and all that. Like I can't remember. Do you remember what they were called in Tremors 2?
No.
Well, I do remember what they're called in the third movie because when those things,
they look. Like they have like the 2 legs and the weird like tongue mouth thing and like it's like the same worm head but on like a chicken body almost.
Yeah, and it's smaller, and then they grow into these things called ass blasters, which literally have bomb fuel in their ass to shoot off and fly, and those lay eggs to create new graboids. So unless
stupid.
I know. Again, I'm not the one who wrote this.
Oh my God.
In Deadpoolzilla's Tremors fan fiction.
Good luck.
And then the ass blaster went and tripped off an elephant.
Do we just not give a fuck about this anymore?
Sorry. No, and see, like, it just seems like a problem of trying to write it as more of a horror comedy than just as a horror movie at that point. Because you wouldn't, no, like, person that is not trying to make it intentionally funny would have them shoot something out of their butt. Like, just no one would do that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like the first movie quite a bit. To be fair, I haven't seen the other ones yet, so maybe I'd enjoy those if I watched them, but I do get the impression watching this that there is not a ton of room for sequels.
You'd be wrong.
It just seems like kind of stomping on the interest of what made this movie work, of what made this movie interesting to do a sequel, you know? Yeah. There's some movies where, like, yes, you feasibly could, but what would you have to say, and could you honestly improve on the original?
Yeah. Tell that to the 4 sequels, the live-action Tremors series, and the 6th movie coming out.
Yeah, I'm just saying this seems like...
Is the 6th movie going to be like a theatrical release, or is it going to be like a...
It's going to be DVD, like Bloodlines.
Oh.
That's unfortunate, I know.
This first movie does not seem like the premise lends itself well to sequels. It seems like to do a sequel to this, you are stomping on what made the movie work.
And you're just almost always going to recover the same ground unless you follow a character from the first film.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You'll still kind of just follow the same ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's always disappointing when that happens, and I'm never in love with that whole kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like, this just doesn't seem like a movie that has a lot of room for sequels unless they're going to be... I don't know, because there are some movies where they lend themselves really well to sequels, I think. Like, It Follows, I want to see a sequel to. Nightmare on Elm Street, I think, lends itself well to sequels.
Oh boy, did you get sequels.
Oh yeah. There are horror movies that I think lend themselves to sequels. This is not one of them.
I think it got sequels, but I think if you just stuck with the original idea of the first film, I think you could get something out of it. And I do agree that there are some films that just don't need horror films that don't need sequels. Jaws is a pretty good example of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Second one's ish, but yeah, didn't need a sequel anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think you could do something with Tremors and make it work. I think if you use different characters and maybe put it in a different area, maybe you could have done something a little more there, but I think... Yeah.
Like Tremors in Manhattan?
No. Jason, it didn't work for Jason, it's not going to work for Graboids. Maybe trying to think of like maybe Texas. Texas would be a perfect place to put the graboids.
It just seems like you'd be retreading the same ground. Unfortunately, like, it's one of those things where I feel like you'd just be making the same movie. And while that can work for some franchises, like, I enjoy it with Predator. I don't care with Predator. Because as long as you're doing interesting character stuff, it's fine. But, I don't know, just following a group of people dealing with the graboids seems like it could get kind of tedious if they had to rediscover the problem over and over. Maybe you could do something if their population was, like, exploding all of a sudden.
Yeah,
maybe that could work for a sequel.
Like Tremors, The Swarm.
Yeah.
And what, have a graboid queen or something?
Yeah, something like that. Like, maybe, I don't know if I'd go that far, but just like, Tremors, the first one is like, okay, now just they're starting to wake up, but we're doing, like, there's this entire population of them miles under the earth that have just been asleep for millions of years, and now they're all starting to wake up and go back on land for food. It's like, they're what killed the dinosaurs kind of thing. And, there'd be bigger and bigger ones. Like, it's just the babies, essentially, that were just waking up, but now we've got, full-size adult ones that are waking up and stuff. I don't know. I think that could be interesting, but...
Yeah.
Like, if it were a wider-scale society problem, and so, like, everybody would be moving into cities and up to, skyscrapers and stuff, and then they just wouldn't have any kind... Like, like the adults would be the size of, like, sandworms from Doom. And, I don't know. And just have, like, society collapsing because of the graboids.
Yeah.
That could be a premise worth checking out, I guess. But
and yeah,
probably too big budget for this kind of franchise.
Well, Kevin Bacon is apparently rebooting the series as a TV series.
How?
I don't know. Because Kevin Bacon, that's why.
Oh my god.
He's putting it on. And it's going to be a Starz TV show, and it's going to ignore the other sequels.
So many movies do that now, where they're just like, okay, we're going to pretend this part of our franchise didn't happen. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, since when was that the rule? That's just because you don't like it, you get to ignore that it happened as part of your franchise.
Well, sometimes you have to do that because, like, in Ash vs. Evil Dead, they can't acknowledge Army of Darkness because that's under a different studio, that film.
Whatever. I don't know. I just find it silly. Because, like, so many things are doing that. Alien's new sequel is doing that. Just so many things
are doing what?
Alien's new sequel's pretending Alien 3 and Alien 4 didn't happen.
Well, if that movie happens, it will.
Yeah. Well,
thankfully, Predator kind of doesn't really do that.
Well,
yeah, Predator.
Shane Black's new Predator film will.
Well, it'll just, like, it's not going to pretend it didn't happen, it's just not going to acknowledge those events, which I think are a different thing.
Yeah,
right?
well, it's a case where Shane Black is actively, from what I get from it, Shane Black's actively writing it as if none of those Predator films exist, but he's not writing a story that necessitates they don't exist, and it's probably not even going to address that at all, so it doesn't really matter. You can kind of just decide for yourself.
The way the Predator Society has been set up, they're clans, so they don't really interact that much. That's fine.
And honestly, I was just going to say, honestly, you could look at the Predator movies as like an anthology series at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say that. But then there are some movies, I'm trying to think of like one off the top of my head, and of course nothing's coming to me. But there are some movie franchises where they just, okay, this sequel ignores the events of these other films in the series. And I just find that annoying. It's like, okay, we get it. You made a bad movie. Work on the mistake. Don't just pretend you didn't make a mistake.
Yeah, own that shit.
Yeah. Like, that's a challenge to be creative. Not a reason to just ignore something.
Yeah. As much as, Disney doesn't like to acknowledge, talk about the prequels a lot, they still acknowledge them from time to time in their work.
Yeah. I'm really trying to, like, it's annoying because I'm saying it's a thing that happens and I can't think of an example. I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
Just damn it. I don't know. Can you guys think of anything like what I'm talking about, where they
again? Explain it again.
where they're making a sequel but actively ignoring or like just pretending that another movie in the franchise didn't happen?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think the only
No, because
Trevorrow said he was ignoring 2 and 3.
But is there anything in 2 and 3, or is there anything in World that directly contradicts 2 and 3?
Not really, but he said it didn't acknowledge the other 2. But at the same time, you could still watch 2 and 3 and still be like, yeah, you could see it in the same storyline.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I'm talking about something where like you cannot have both be in the same thing. And it's annoying that I can't think of anything right now, and that's the problem with doing things like this.
AVP is kind of like that.
Yeah. AVP's a lot like that.
Yeah. They had the balls to say, fuck all the other continuity. AVP had the balls to say that. Fuck you, AVP.
I've got one. The original, the 1930s and 40s mummy films.
Okay.
Well, hear me out. They did a Boris Karloff one, right? And then from then on, they did another series centered around this mummy called Karis, which did not acknowledge the original film, and it had no, like what you were saying, like no mention of the other mummy.
Yeah. I don't know. Just nothing's coming to me, and that's the problem. I want like a direct, indisputable example, and nothing's coming to me, so it's whatever. Just move on.
We have just run out of things to talk about with this film, haven't we?
No, I don't think so.
We've gone.
We were talking about the actors earlier, and I don't want to like spend too much more time on the actors, but does anyone else kind of don't like? I don't care because he's so damn charming that I love him anyway. But does anyone else like have a little bit of trouble buying Kevin Bacon as like a handyman?
No, he sells it.
I think he works.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just look at Kevin Bacon, and he seems like too much of a pretty boy at that age to be a handyman to me. Like, he's supposed to be kind of this, like, rough and tough guy and like, good old country boy kind of thing.
I think he pulls it off.
I don't think so, honestly. I look at him like, nah, you're just a little too pretty, Kevin Bacon, I'm sorry.
What, Ian? You're not taking a bite of the Kevin Bacon sandwich? How dare you?
Yeah, I don't know. I had a little bit of trouble buying him, but
God damn it, now I want a bacon sandwich. God fucking damn it. Why did you say that?
Damn it, me!
I got no bacon, and I have bread, just no bacon.
Okay, what else can we talk about with Tremors?
You guys want to talk a bit about, like, I guess the weakest actor in here is Reba McEntire.
Wait, who?
She's a country singer.
Yeah, I know who Reba McEntire is. Who the fuck does she play?
She plays Bert's wife.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't realize that was her. That's funny.
The weakest, like, I don't have any problem with her as a singer. In fact, Lights Without in Georgia is an awesome song. But yeah, actress she is not. I mean,
did she have her own series?
I know she did.
Television show?
Yeah, she had her own television show. I didn't care to watch it, so I can't answer that.
Well, no, I'm just like, I heard of Reba. I'm like, wait, isn't that her? So, like, I guess she thinks of herself as an actress, even if you don't, Deadpoolzilla.
Well, all right. I'm just saying, I never really watched Reba. I mean, I think my mom's watched it several times, and maybe I've seen it in between naps, but whatever.
In between naps. I like the idea that you're just like sleeping on the couch, and mom comes in and watches an episode of Reba, and like you wake up from a nap and like catch a minute or two of it, and then fall right back asleep.
That is exactly what happens.
It's like, Ian, do you have cameras in my house?
Yeah,
and the answer is yes. Yes, I watch you poop. Anyway, no, I don't think any of the actors are particularly weak. I find myself questioning some of the the perfectness of the scenario, but that's just kind of a problem with, I think, all horror, is you usually have to find a way to isolate everybody. I would like to see a movie where, like a horror movie where the people have literally unlimited resources,
But it doesn't.
and are still just no match for the monsters.
That's pretty much every kaiju film, Ian.
Not. Yeah, but I don't really consider kaiju to be horror that much, you know?
Okay, I'll show you if it's the 54 film, and then we'll debate about that, asshole.
Fair enough. I'm sure there are some that count more, but I don't know. I think giant monster movie might be its own genre more than it is, like, fits in with horror.
Anyway. I would say, like, again, Burt Gummer's my favorite character, and again, he becomes, after the second movie, he becomes like a supporting character in the second film, but from then on out, he becomes the big hero, like, almost like a crazy Ash Williams.
I just like that we have a character, and you see a lot of horror movies do this, I just like that we have a character who is just, you know, the apocalypse predictor that everyone in the real world dismisses as crazy, but he gets his moment of validation in this movie.
Well, we kind of had that type of character in the movie You're Next.
Not seen it, so I can't say.
Oh, well. It's from the director who did the new Blair Witch film. It's actually really good. I watched it the other day, and I was thoroughly enthralled.
I don't know, Rasco, you take us somewhere then.
Not to elephant fetuses.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, thanks, Rasco, for that riveting bit of insight.
Yeah.
I like the pole vaulting scene. I just want to mention that. I liked the pole vaulting scene quite a bit. It was just fun.
Yeah.
And I guess that kind of goes more to the point I made at the beginning of this, which is the way this is directed and the way this is acted shows that, like, it is where the comedy comes through as opposed to the way it was written, because I just think of that pole vaulting scene, and you could shoot that a couple different ways. You could shoot that as, like, a very suspenseful moment. Like, if you change the camera angle and, like, you know, if the cameras show, like, a far shot of the rocks and them going between each of them, right? But if you change the camera angle to, like, really close-ups on their faces, like, from the other rock, or, like, you know, even, you know, cameras on the poles, which you couldn't have done back then, but whatever. If you'd done, like, shots of cameras on the poles, that could have been an extremely high-tension moment, and you could have had, like, the graboids, like, grabbing one of their sticks from out under them while they were pole vaulting and stuff like that. You could have made that a very high-tension kind of scene, but the way they shoot it, they just put the camera back, and then they play some fun music, and it just looks like they're having a good time doing it. Yeah. So it's just little stuff like that is what I think makes it not so much... is what gives it that horror comedy thing, even though it wasn't written as a horror comedy, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. It is also cool how they think of, like, inventive ways to kill these things. One, it's just sheer dumb fucking luck. The other times they have to take, like, an RC car to get it to eat it, then explode.
Yeah, I quite liked how they made these, like, really smart creatures. That, you know, like, just... obviously they're still exploring the world and still getting used to, you know, essentially hunting humans. And so just... I thought that was really clever, how they... the ways in which they made this work to have them keep getting smarter and smarter until we get that moment at the end with Kevin Bacon where he's like, no, he's not gone. He's just waiting for us. He's smarter than the others. I really like that. It was really clever stuff. I think there's a little bit of problem in how much or how fast they are, because it seems like they get from the town to Bert, you said is his name?
Yeah, Bert.
Yeah, they get from the town to Bert's house in, like, no time flat, but Kevin Bacon and the other two are able to run to the cliffside in the time that it takes the one thing just to, you know, start moving with them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I thought they were a little inconsistent on the speed.
Sometimes it's just suspension of disbelief sometimes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, this probably isn't a movie that you're meant to think about too much, but honestly, it's not breaking apart while I'm thinking about it. It's just little things here and there.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't know. Anyone else feel like the romance story in this was a little unnecessary?
Yeah,
and kind of tacked on?
Yeah, it was, I guess, because main character needs main love interest, when really, he just needed a bromance.
Honestly, yeah, I really would have liked if they just left together, drove off in the sunset, like they planned to at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
I would have found that ending just as much, if not more satisfying.
Yeah, like they just, you see them riding off in the sunset, and then you just see little plumes of smoke showing that, oh, there's another one chasing them.
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
That would have been horrible.
Really? You wouldn't have liked that?
No, they need a happy ending. No fucking, ha ha ha, they're secretly fucked.
Well, no, I mean, we do pretty easily establish that the things can't chase cars. They're not as fast as cars. So, I don't know. I think that those two would be fine, but it would tell you that there's still graboids around.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that, I like that actually a lot more, because I can't remember, who's the other actor's name alongside Kevin Bacon? I've seen him in other films, I just can't remember his name.
I couldn't place anybody in this movie, besides Kevin Bacon.
For you, it's just Kevin Bacon and the rest.
Pretty much. To be fair, that's every Kevin Bacon movie, even including X-Men First Class.
Really? Even more than Fassbender and McAvoy?
That was before those two really took off career-wise.
But they're still great in that fucking movie.
Yeah, they're great, but, I mean, fucking Kevin Bacon, man. Kevin Bacon is like the most charming Nazi of all time.
That's good.
No, I really like the cast for this, though. I think everyone does a fun job, and, like, I know you two get annoyed with the teenager, but I don't. I think he's supposed to be annoying, and I'm not waiting for him to die, though.
I don't really get annoyed by the teenager.
Oh, okay. Rasco, what did you think of the romance? Do you think that was a satisfying ending, or would you have preferred?
I kind of dig it. What's different about it is like they live in a place where it's just like a shit town. Like there's nobody, and like I get why he would be like extra likely to take a fancy up for this girl in the middle of this shitville where he lives.
In the middle of butt-fuck nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
But at the same time, it's like, did you really need it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just another character. You have to be like, oh no.
Well, no, I wouldn't mind it if they had her in the movie still. I just don't think that there needed to be a romance between them.
Yeah. I could have just handled those two, two best... Because you never get a film of just two friends. Well, hardly you get horror films where it's two best friends trying to survive, where one gets killed and the other one has to keep moving. It's never like... It's never like an Abbott and Costello thing.
Yeah, we need more bro horror.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, Broer.
That's a new genre. It's the buddy genre meets the horror genre. Broer.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. We need more bro horror movies, and we need more female horror movies. We just need more movies where like there's not a love story, because it is total studio think that every movie has to have a love story as a subplot.
Yeah.
Like, it is complete and total studio think to throw in a love subplot because, we need to give women something to watch. That's the only reason that's in every fucking movie. Yeah,
it's the same reason why we probably have the love interest. I guarantee you she was put in because of studio reasons. Because just from the dialogue, it feels like Kevin Bacon and the other guy are friends. Like just from the dialogue, you get the sense that I can buy these two's friendship.
Yeah, like I love the running gag about the rock paper scissors thing. I thought that was pretty clever, and I really liked the moment where they're arguing about who gets to go run for the
because
track or whatever it is.
Neither wants to watch the other one die.
Yeah, I really really like that where they go, okay, fine, rock paper scissors, and then Kevin Bacon loses and he goes, okay, I lose, I'll go do it now. I really really like that. That was so it's like this bickering kind of friendship, and they're just kind of, annoying to each other at times, but they're fun. Like, I just really get a good sense of best buddiness out of that, and I just thought it was a really fun relationship to watch, and I think that would have been enough. I don't think we needed the love interest, and I like the actress. I think she does a good job and everything. I just think the love subplot is superfluous.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Because, again, you just needed those two guys bumbling around being like, oh, shit, giant man-eating worms with weird-ass tongues.
Right? And, I don't know, I like the kind of, they keep trying to leave town, but just shit goes haywire.
Like, it continuously goes sideways further and further.
Yeah, I thought that was clever. I don't know if I really bought their, immediate decision to leave town. I thought that was a little much. It's just, okay, they've been talking about leaving town, and then it's just because they get covered in shit that they decide to leave town. Don't get me wrong, I'd stop working that day. But I don't know if
I don't know about you, but I don't want... dysentery makes me rethink my life choices, Ian.
I don't know, I'd definitely stop working that day, but I don't know if I'd, pick up and leave.
I'd leave. Get out. Get the fuck out of there, You just haven't had that kind of day before, I guess.
I guess. I don't know, it was a funny moment, though.
Yeah.
I have a question. I was not sure about this. Who the fuck's kid is the teenager?
Okay. I think the guy that is stupid enough to think sitting on that tire is enough to save him from the monkey worms. I'm going to call them monkey worms for some reason now, the rest of this. Monkey worms. They ate the guy through the tire. I think that was the guy's dad.
Okay.
I don't know, but his dad's just gone.
Alright, because I know Purple Overall Ladies was the mother of the one little girl.
That might have been his mom, but I don't know.
Well, here's the other thing, is that character, the teenager, comes back in the third film as this mogul who's trying to destroy perfection and make, buildings, like a land development.
I haven't seen the third. It's fucking retarded! Oh my god, that's so stupid. That's so stupid.
The third movie's more like a pilot for the sci-fi series.
Oh my god.
I don't know. That's one of those things. Is I can tell that they're writing these as comedies now, and I don't think that's what made it work. I don't think that it's funny. That it's written to be funny is what made this movie work. I think it's that it was written as a reasonably serious horror movie, and then just kind of, shot and acted funny is what made it work. It almost feels like I could almost imagine the scriptwriter, handing this script into the studio and then buying it from him, and them going, oh yeah, we're gonna make this really, fairly big budget movie, and we're gonna get, Kevin Bacon to star in it and everything. We'll see you at the premiere. And he's really excited that, people are gonna take his art seriously and all this stuff. And then he goes to the premiere and it kind of feels offended by the fact that they made it into a bit of a farce. That's how I imagine the scriptwriter felt for this, because I just do not think that he made this as a funny movie.
You piles of giant monkey monkey fuck! What have you done to my precious film?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Probably not. He's probably happy to get paid and happy that people enjoyed his film.
I made a movie about giant worms and I got paid. I think that's the bottom line. I get to eat another day.
Yeah. Where would I go about getting one of the giant worm props? Just curious.
Why were you just gonna scare your fiance with it?
I don't know. I was thinking about just wearing it around town.
Just walk
Put
around
it on
like
your car, drive around with this giant worm car.
Like, that's what I like about it, is it looks like a believable enough prop that you could honestly have it somewhere and make people think it's like a dead animal.
Yeah, yeah, and that's, again, wasn't it Rick Baker who did the monster effects, his crew?
I have no idea.
I think it is, and yeah, it's the same guys who did, Jurassic Park. And yeah, those animals do look very lifelike, and they're just huge, so you can just imagine the scope of that, and it plays into the whole practical effects and how you can, actors can see what they're looking at, and yeah.
Well, see, I don't even think the effects work is good just because the actor reaction to it, so much as I just think it works because of the way it's shot. It's a lot of dirt on it. There's a lot of stuff to make sure that it's shot really quickly. There's not a lot of lingering shots on the things. There's very little shot on it. There's very few shots on it when it's not moving at all. And so that's what I think makes it work, is anytime you see it, it's covered in dirt, so it kind of just doesn't look quite, how to put this? It's covered in dirt, so just, anything that might not look real about it is just covered up by actual earth. So I think that's what makes the effects work as well as they do.
Yeah.
I don't know, the tongues kind of move a little too slowly for me. That's everyone praises practical effects, and I think they do generally look better for close-ups, except for eyes. But the tongues do, the problem with practical effects generally is it won't move incredibly believably, because you have to be puppeteering it, and that's not how natural movement works from, a one-source kind of thing. Everything has its own independent points of articulation and stuff. So I watched, you watch movies where it's all puppeteering and costuming and things just don't quite move right. You can tell that there's...
Hell, that's the T-Rex in Jurassic Park, Ian.
And, well, you're only seeing parts of it, though.
You see the full-on eyes in most of the shots.
The best puppeteering work ever is fucking Aliens with the Queen versus the fucking power loader fight. It looks so fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, there's exceptions to every rule.
I don't know. I was just throwing that out there because I need to bring up Aliens.
There's always exceptions to every single rule. I agree that those things look amazing, but my point still stands. Those are kind of the exceptions of just when they put everything into it with a huge-ass budget, whereas everyone goes, oh, do practical effects more often. Well, you won't always be able to make it look as believable if you'd just gone digital instead. So, I don't know, puppeteering, things don't have just one centralized movement, and, not every film's budget can afford the gold standard of animatronics, guys.
No, I hear what you're saying. No, I hear it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think the effects look pretty good. I'd probably give the effects, just from their aesthetic, their just from their believability on glance, a 10, and their believability on movement and integration, a 7.5 and 8, which is really good. Keeping in mind, I'd give Avatar a 9 and then a 10, so I don't know, take that how you will. for comparison to fully digital. At this point, I am entirely stretching, because, yeah, unfortunately, we just don't have a ton to say about this, even though it is a, fun movie. It's just, there's not a lot to complain about, but there's what makes it work. It's fun.
Yeah, it's just a fun film. I would put it up there as some of the best horror comedies, again, Evil Dead 2 and Shaun of the Dead.
Tucker and Dale.
Yeah, Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah. There's a bro comedy, but they still throw in a love story.
If they ever wanted to make a serious Tremors sequel that was like actually trying to be good, they should get, and they were trying to recapture like the spirit of the first movie, they should get James Gunn to write and direct it. That's perfect director.
Yeah, I mean, look at what was that film he did? It also had worms in it.
You're talking about Slither.
That's the one.
That's the movie that is perfect in tone. It's perfectly matchable in tone to this film.
Yeah.
I don't feel so good.
Something's wrong with me.
And she's like filling up a barn. Oh my god. All the Sonic fanboys are jerking off. Oh, Sonic fan community, you're so bizarre. Yeah. I could see that. Now, here's the question I found myself asking for a lot of the movies this year on Geeky Gentleman Horror Month. Do you think this should be remade, or do you think it should be left alone?
Don't remake it. Actually, leave it alone. Yeah, leave it the fuck alone.
Yeah, leave it alone.
I think so too. Like, I think the premise and everything about the first movie is just enough fun and legitimately scary moments that it's worth just, letting it be, not taking it, milking it for everything it's got. But if they did remake it, I could understand the appeal to, but I don't think that there's enough there to do a remake of, because I don't think the premise on its own is interesting enough. What really works about this is the directing and acting. I don't think you're going to be able to recapture that, but do what you want, I guess. Hollywood doesn't have to listen to me. They have millions of dollars. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to ratings then. Rasco, you go first.
I'm gonna give Tremors. I'm gonna give this film a, honestly, for what it is, it's really fucking good. So Tremors gets a fucking 4 out of 5 worm tongues.
Damn it, you stole mine!
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give Tremors, 4 out of 5 seems fair. 4 out of 5 elephant cocks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna also give it 4 out of. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5. Shit, you took both mine. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 Kevin Bacon sandwiches.
You should have said ass blasters.
Well, Kevin Bacon Damn it! Now.
Wait. Is a Kevin Bacon sandwich when, like, you're in a threesome with 2 Kevin Bacons?
No. Kevin, you and Kevin Bacon are in between a woman.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what? You're in between one woman?
No, she is the bacon, and you and Kevin Bacon are the bread.
No, Kevin Bacon should be the bacon.
Man,
The sexual partner in that case, the gender of the sexual partner is irrelevant to you. If you're gonna be fucking Kevin Bacon, then it's just
Well, I'd have sex with him. Why not?
Everyone has their go gay for. So.
Oh, mine is John Barrowman though,
and Kevin Bacon.
and he's my number 7.
I love that you have this ranked. Hey, Deadpoolzilla, 3 men you'd sleep with. Take your time on the answer. Take your time to answer, of course. John Barrowman, Kevin Bacon. It's got it like all listed out and everything.
No. I got you, motherfucker. John Barrowman, Neil Patrick Harris, and who was my number 3? Nathan Fillion.
This is a very detailed list. I can honestly say I've never given this that much thought. Okay. Well, that'll do it for our review of Tremors, our rambly, off-the-cuff, completely off-topic review of Tremors. Yeah, it's one of those movies. It's just more of a fun watch than it is fun to talk about, but I enjoyed it, so that's good. Deadpoolzilla is joining us again next week. Deadpoolzilla, what are we talking about?
We are talking about Freddy versus Jason. And talk about why that movie, even though it's so fucking stupid, it's still pretty fucking awesome.
Okay, spoilers then. Spoilers for next episode of Geeky Gentlemen. Everyone, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
I am the Creator.
And I am the Walrus.
Cuckoo for you, motherfucker.
And we're your Geeky Gentlemen. And we will be discussing things like ass worms.
Ah!